I'm pretty sure it means it's really broken. And now we've got to do something with this. This week on the flat out driveway we had the BMW i8. The thing came out like 4 years ago. When it did, it was absolutely groundbreaking, amazing piece of kit, but I guess now people have seen it, but I don't think that makes it any less special. It's still a phenomenal car. The i8 is a sports car that's designed to be used every day, and the everyday for me this week just so happened to be going up to see my cousin to get a bit more tattooing done on my arm. And I realised that's not everyone's everyday, but that was mine this week. So we left the south coast and drove up to the outskirts of London to see my main man to get some ink done. So I've always wanted to spend a bit of time with the i8 ever since going to the BMW museum, where they've got this entire floor dedicated to the concept and how it came about. And if you listen to the engineers talk about this vehicle, it really was a very early example of using advanced manufacturing techniques. It sounds very nerdy, but 3D printing and using recycled materials inside back then was quite cutting edge. And another thing that people don't realise is that, you know, the holy trinity of hybrid hypercars like the 918 and the P1, they're doing this, but for ridiculous money. Like, this is actually an affordable hypercar, maybe not with the performance, but the technology that underpins it is on a par with those guys. After a couple of days with this thing, things were going pretty well. I realised you could get 3 fully grown chaps in it, and try getting 3 grown men in a 911 and you really know about it. But actually there is a bit of room in the rear. It's not particularly comfortable, but you can do it. It's got a boot, so we managed to get 3 guys and their camera kit in the back of it and hacked it all the way up to London. It was all going pretty well, and you know, even getting in and out of those crazy dihedral doors isn't such a bad thing. You do end up scuffing your boots on the interior a little bit, but you know, I guess that's what happens when you have funky doors. But real disaster struck when we got a puncture, which, you know, with modern cars tends to just render them completely useless. Obviously, this is an exercise in lightweight, so there's not a spare wheel hidden anywhere. We managed to locate a pump and some goo that you squeeze into the tyre and apparently seals it up if you've got a puncture, but this puncture was too large, so all of that goo ended up going into the local habitat and probably killing some birds, but you know, that happens. So just a little update on the tyre inflation device. I tried to give it a go, thinking it might speed things up. Pretty successful, got it in there, but that happened. So I'm pretty sure it means it's really broken. And now we've got to do something with this. But yeah, we got this puncture, so what we had to do was phone for assistance and get rescued. So that resulted in us waiting around about 8 hours for a low loader to turn up and take this stricken BMW i8 back to the nearest BMW garage. So basically we spent half a day sat, 3 of us cramped in a cold, dead BMW i8. And then also we had to wait for a courtesy car to arrive, which was very nice, and that's a service you get when you spend over £100,000 on a car. You get a replacement car, but it meant we didn't get home till about midnight because of one tiny little split in a rubber tyre, which is a complete nightmare. BMW were super cool about the whole thing. They delivered the car back to us with a fixed wheel, took the courtesy car away, and actually, even despite the little niggles we had and the day spent stuck on the side of the road, in a broken down car. I've actually really enjoyed my time with the vehicle. I'd have to say the battery range, if you use it as a plug-in, it's not great, and technology has probably moved on a fair bit in that time, but I've still absolutely loved it. It's a car that's clearly been designed to be used every single day. It's a sports car, it's fast, but you are going to want to get in it to go to the shops, to go to work. And people drew a lot of similarities with the i8 and the M1 when it was first launched, and the M1 was a supercar that was designed to be driven. Okay, it's probably a little bit trickier to drive than the i8 is, but the i8 has definitely got that essence, and I think like the M1 it is going to become a future classic, but unlike some future classics, it's going to be a car that's got miles on the clock, and a car that's been used, and I really like that.
I told you.